I'm going to demonstrate how to properly install a 3G0089 maintenance kit. This kit contains the recommended items for maintaining your 100 and 150 pound plastic fill system. I will be reviewing the installation procedure for the lid filter, the jar filter, the jar gasket, and the venturi. To replace the lid filter, you first need to remove the lever lock ring and lid by unlatching it and pulling to remove. Remove the lid filter by just simply lifting it off from the hopper. Reinstall it after cleaning or installing a new lid filter by pulling the elastic over the plastic lip and making sure it fits snugly. You will then reinstall the lever lock ring and lid by working the lever lock ring around the top of the vacuum fill until it snaps in place. Then you will simply relatch and clamp it down. Access the jar filter by removing the jar, screwing in a clockwise motion. Then remove the jar filter cap, screwing in a clockwise motion. Remove the cap and the old filter. Install your new filter and reinstall your filter cap by screwing in a counterclockwise motion until tight. Reinstall your jar by slipping it over the jar filter and screwing in a counterclockwise motion until tight. The jar gasket will be accessed by removing the jar and jar filter. It is located underneath the filter housing. For ease of removal, use the Getz part number 1G53979 O-ring pick set. You will use the 90-degree angled pick. Insert it under the filter housing and grab the gasket with the end of the pick. Work it until you expose the gasket and then work the gasket out from the filter housing using your fingers. Reinstall the gasket by working the gasket underneath the jar filter housing with your fingers. You will not be able to get the gasket properly seated using just your fingers. So once you've got it in, take the back side of the 90-degree pick and push it around the jar filter housing until you have the gasket properly seated. To access the venturi, you will need to remove the 4 screws holding on the faceplate on your control console. Once the faceplate is removed, carefully tilt it back to access the inside of the control console. You will then remove the red, white, and yellow hoses from the push-to-connect fittings, and then remove the clear poly line from the plastic hose barb. Once this has been removed, you will have easier access to replace the Venturi. Remove the red and yellow lines installed in the Venturi from the push-to-connects. Remove the two brass nuts from the new Venturi that you will be installing. Next, using a 7/16 open-end wrench, remove the two brass nuts containing the red and the yellow poly tubing. Once removed, take the new Venturi and install the two brass nuts containing the yellow and the red tubing. Tighten with a 7/16 inch wrench. Reinstall the Venturi by inserting the red and yellow tubing into the push-to-connect fittings. Reinstall the red, white, and yellow tubing into the push-to-connect fittings. Reinstall the black barbed poly elbow into the clear vent tube on the Venturi. Reattach the control console faceplate with the 4 screws.